Alright folks, welcome back to learning the basic anatomy of a object. And again, I would like to point out that the big idea here is that we want to create objects. Okay, and objects have a class, just like you have a class. If your name is Jeremiah, you're a human, and that's your class. If you're a lightsaber, you might be Luke's lightsaber, but your class is lightsaber. And so our job as programmers is to create classes that model real life stuff. And we are working with class lightsaber here. And you can see here that we're going to use three things to keep track of what that lightsaber is. Its color, its length, and whether or not it has two blades or not, like Darth Maul's lightsaber from Star Wars 1. And you can see up here we actually created a new lightsaber. And in this video, we're going to create a second lightsaber that has a different constructor. And let me show you what I mean. So it's still going to be a lightsaber, but this time it's going to be Vader's lightsaber. And in fact, we can't just run this code. Okay, this no longer makes any sense. If we're thinking about modeling real life, this represents a problem. So if we just call this constructor right here, lightsaber, the lightsaber constructor, notice the parentheses, we come down here and it runs this method, or this function, and it makes it green, and it makes it this long, and it says that it's not a dual lightsaber. Okay, that's cool, but we all know that Darth Vader's lightsaber is red. And so we need a way to actually tell the constructor to build a different lightsaber when we create Vader's lightsaber as opposed to Luke's. And so what we're going to do is actually create what we're going to call a different constructor. And this constructor is going to accept variables. In fact, we're going to say lightsaber. And then this is going to take in these numbers here, or these parameters. An integer. And we're giving them different names. And this is a kind of a subtle point. The idea here is that these variables that come from the function are given straight from here. So when I call this method right here, we can send it information. So I'm going to send it information. I'm going to say, what color is it? Well, Darth Vader's lightsaber is red. Okay? So notice here it's predominantly red. But that's just one parameter, and I separate these with commas. And the second parameter that this lightsaber method is going to look for is the blade length. Well, Darth Vader's is a little bit longer. Excuse me. I'm going to leave that in there because that's funny and I sneeze all the time. Darth Vader's lightsaber is a little bit longer, and we also know that his lightsaber is not double-bladed. So it's a single blade. So you can see here that we've created a separate constructor, and in this constructor we send some information along when we're building our Vader lightsaber object right from the get-go. So down here in our constructor we need to do exactly what this constructor did, which is build our object. But now we need to build it with this information. So we can say the field C is equal to this big C that got sent from the method call. This variable blade length, which is a field, is just going to be set by the variable that was sent to us when we created the object. Whoops. And then down here we can say dual equals two-sided. And we don't really need to give these different names. I do it just to keep track of what's an actual variable of the object and what's just sort of one of these ephemeral temporal variables that only exist for this one method and then disappear. Okay? So this creates us a second constructor, excuse me, and now we can build a bunch of different types of lightsabers. In fact, now that we have this constructor, this second constructor, we can build any kind of lightsaber that we want. So let's just, for giggles, let's build Darth Maul's lightsaber. It is also red. It's a little bit of a deeper red, so we're going to cut out some of the other colors. And it's not quite as long as the other ones because it has two blades, and so we can set this to true. So now we have a really great way to use our same code here, this class lightsaber. we have a really great way to create 3 different lightsabers in total. Okay, so that's creating a secondary constructor. Okay, this will be the default constructor if I just called lightsaber, and this is the secondary one.